everybody. Welcome to Blackman. How we doing? How we doing? So we're gonna start this thing off immediately. Immediately. And I say that because what I want us to realize is that the indigenous can't be deported. So since we know and agree that the indigenous can't be deported, someone has some explaining to do. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so we're gonna start it off first. We're gonna start it off with Mr. Calloway himself. Shout out to him and his wife Tanisha. Okay, so look, I'm gonna be going back and forth from him to Black Alpha Network. Now, normally, people they clip and then they crop, and then that way you don't know where people are getting this material from. I don't mind. Whatever. Go look at the whole video. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to the people's channels who channels I go to. You know what I mean? YouTube University in the building. So first off, hello. Welcome to Black Spin. I'm Nikki. Hey cousins. How y'all doing? Okay, so let's dive right into it. Because the indigenous can't be deported, right? If you're indigenous to here, then you can't be deported from here. So first, before we start, I want to look at some definitions with y'all. Okay. So this is the definition of indigenous, right? Originating, reoccurring naturally to a particular place. Now it says native, but that's a misnomer because when we look up the definition of native, y'all know I can't type, leave me alone. When you look at the definition of native, what the fuck? Just define it. No cursing, no cursing. Okay, a person born. Okay, so remember, to be an indigenous person, you are naturally occurring to a place. To be a native somewhere, you were born there. So that is the difference. So that's why a lot of people say you can't be native and be indigenous. That's why they think it's a misnomer to say you're a Native American and an indigenous person. You know what I mean? That's why they're giving so much flack to the know-nothings. I mean, the Native Americans. So let's get started, guys.
Just watch. I'm gonna just say it like that. Let me make sure everything is okay. We good to go. The volume is up. Watch this.
What's up? So we kind of got a thing going here with beautiful women of many races. So I was thinking maybe we should do Native Americans. I was going to do the whole thing, but I'm actually not really impressed by this one. I'm going to be bluntly honest. You have my body. That does not belong to you. You're an imposter. Okay, we have another cracker smart aleck. Listen up, Blondie. How dare you? You're white. Obvious white girl is obvious. Okay, see, now you're upsetting me. You are a white girl who tanned her skin. Hey, is that an American flag?
Pause. And y'all remember how offended the Native American community was when Kenya Moore put on an Indian costume? I digress. Let's go.
I don't know what's hitting me harder, my arousal or my offense. Aw, cute. No. Okay, can we just make this illegal? Is it possible to punish white girls who dress up as Native Americans with forced obesity? Not okay. Yeah, whitey. You're white. I like the angle. Very boobs indeed. Another white girl who wants to be force fatted. Another white girl who looks like a total boner. Ugh, I wish you were Native American, but you're not. You are totally white. Whitey Whiterson. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this woman's from Thailand. And you are Asian. Okay, this needs to stop. I search for Native American girl. Mostly white chicks show up.
And he did that in Google.
Native American girl, mostly white chicks show up. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? All right, watch this. Watch this. Right here. I think it should be right here. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I'm trying to figure out why is it that there's such conflict between these American Indians and Native Americans. We all know Native Americans were not born here. They were born here. They are biracials having biracials. Like, And then history says they're Siberian. Some history says they're Siberian mixed with Mongoloid. We know what the Mongoloids are. I'm not talking about the insult that people call Mongoloids. I'm talking about actual Mongoloids. I'm gonna pull them up for you. Watch this real quick.
I heard a lot of natives in Oklahoma are being met with racism from African Americans. And the sad thing is I notice a lot of the African American community tends to.
Mind you, this Caucasian fellow here is supposed to be Native American. He's supposed to be the American Indian. Now, I'm just in case we don't know what Noah Webster encountered when he first got here. Applied to the Aboriginals or the copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. Okay, I'm just saying. Oh, look at the Siberians. Don't they look familiar? Don't they look familiar? Oh, look at the baby. Oh. I digress. Let's go.
Gaslight people, and they're like, I don't know what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you give me examples? So luckily, I've been documenting everything, making sure it's getting reported properly to the proper authorities and everything. So if you are Native and you are getting harassed, a lot of the time these things go underreported. So make sure to record everything, document it. The whole point is to make the Native American look like they're crazy, and we didn't do that because it's a colonizer approach. We've been having to deal with that since people came here. All these transplants came here from it.
So he's not a transplant. Where is your copper? Play.
All over the world. I heard a lot of natives in Oklahoma are being met with racism from African Americans.
Did this man just sit there and say Black Americans identifying as Black Americans is harassing them? You know.
It's harassing them. So just identifying as an indigenous person is considered harassment. Oh, wow. Wow. This is like, go, let's go.
They're the ones still playing dress up. Foundational Black Americans.
Don't he look like a Mongoloid?
Big difference between.
Now he's claiming that he's indigenous as well, right? Let me show you what a Mongoloid look like. Nothing like him? Don't pay attention to the Down syndrome children because their Mongoloid was used to describe them as an insult. We'll just go with this guy up here because I don't want to insult the children. Look at him. Doesn't that look like an older version of this young man here? So when they say they're Mongoloids and Siberians, I'm just saying.
Between the two.
Let's go.
You damn right it is.
Mongoloid.
So does that make me black? Does that make me the real African?
And that's just stupid. That's just stupid for him to say that. Listen.
You know, because I'm at a comment on here. He said, you're Siberian, bro. Like they always say, you're Siberian, bro. And I just put...
Oh, well, they don't like that one, do they? They don't like that. Why you running from Siberian? If that's who you are, that's who you are. Why you run from Siberian so much? Family, you say Siberian.
They don't like a fat Siberian to y'all?
They start spazzing. I ain't no Siberian. Yes, the hell you are. Yes, you are. Siberian, and the last guy was European.
Put out there that, you know, I have an African ancestor from the 1800s. And like I just said, so does that make me the real African here now?
The pretendians on this app are literally white supremacists.
What?
They degrade people of African ancestry. Their sources are old racist white dudes from hundreds of years ago.
That's actually your source. Your source is hundreds of racist white dudes from hundreds of years ago. Your source is Darwinism. Your source is the history books telling you that you're an Indian. Look at you, ma'am. The caucasity. The caucasity. When Noah described us when he put together the English language and the dictionary. This is what he said. Copper-colored races. What is your copper? But let's go. Watch.
What? This is their version of indigenous? Wait a minute.
This lady is Russian.
When the hell did Julia Roberts become an Indian?
That lady is a Slavic.
This is who is your representation. This is who you tell me was the indigenous person. How in the hell did Tonto come out looking like Elizabeth Warren?
And y'all don't forget, it doesn't stop there. Y'all remember that guy that was the face of the National Arbor Day Foundation, the crying Indian? Sicilian. Family from Italy. I got another one for y'all. Hold on. I want to let this other white lady speak after her. Then I want to show y'all something. I want to show y'all one getting busted by other pretendians. Watch this. Pretending on pretending crime. Hold on. Watch this.
Damn, this Elizabeth Warren's people. Oh, so you ain't really the originator. Y'all see, it sound like everybody can be them, but only us can be us.
Supremacists. They degrade people of African ancestry. Their sources are old racist white dudes from hundreds of years ago who are probably on cocaine and various other substances. Like, their sources are slave masters, and they're calling indigenous Americans colonizers because of these elaborate...
Your sources. Those are your sources. Our sources tell us that we welcomed the Siberian Mongoloid in and they stabbed us in the back when DeSoto came. And they teamed up with DeSoto and the colonizers in order to get rid of us because they wanted our land for themselves. That's what our history tells us. We know who DeSoto is and what DeSoto did. If y'all don't know, I'll go over DeSoto with y'all. Give me 1 second.
Conspiracy theory, it's a cult. It's a cult. It's a white supremacist cult at this point. What else would you call people who are obsessed with phrenology, hate black people, say derogatory things about having African ancestry? They threaten people with ICE.
Saying that I'm not African is not derogatory. It's the gaslighting for me. Like, saying that I'm not African, I don't have any African ancestry, I don't have one African cousin, relative, uncle, brother, nobody. I've traced my family back before the 1400s because we have a tapestry, and I'm trying to figure out why is it derogatory for me to say I'm not African? And why is it an insult for me to tell you that you're European?
They dox people. They're not victims in this scenario. You know who the victims are? The indigenous Americans that they're harassing in real life and online.
Pretendians are non-native people who claim to be native for social, personal...
Ma'am. I was going to say Miss Piggy, but I'm not going to do that. I already know Black Alpha about to tear up, but listen to what she's saying.
Wait. Rosie O'Donnell is an Indian too? Oh, wait a minute. Or is that Roseanne Barr? Wait a minute. So, Rosie O'Donnell and Roseanne Barr. Rosie O'Barr is an Indian too? Wait a minute now. Fam, you learn something new every day. I guess they went to the Dolls Rolls and signed up for this too. Because this is getting mayo everywhere you turn. This stuff turns super mayo. How in the hell did Roseanne show up here? I'm just shocked and appalled.
Professional and monetary gain. They make false, unsubstantiated claims to Native American DNA as an attempt to reap benefits, grants, awards, money, land.
Isn't that why they did it? Isn't that why you have all these Europeans claiming to be Native American, which is supposed to interpret to indigenous to this land? Isn't that why this European lady here is claiming to be indigenous? So she can live tax-free, her kids can go to college for free, and all the things that we were supposed to get, that we worked out with the people that we let live here? Isn't that why your ancestors signed the Dolls Rolls, knowing they weren't Indian? Isn't that why you have the $5 Indian? Because they wanted the benefits that you just named? But okay, girl. Go off, Hellmans.
And cultural capital, fame, and professional recognition. Pretendians usually follow the same pattern. One, they make vague claims to native DNA. Two, they have no
Isn't that what they do? Any claim she has to being a part of a copper color race is more than vague. It's like deflection. This is what deflection, if deflection was a person.
I know she ain't talking about somebody pretending. This is what you got, Tonto. Tonto, this is your all-star team. Elizabeth Warren, Julia Roberts, and Roseanne. God, get somebody whose show didn't get canceled. I'll be damned.
Tribal affiliation or their tribal affiliation shifts. Three, they talk about some distant ancestor with no name, and there's usually some traumatic inciting incident that keeps them from knowing their history. Pretendians almost all have the same exact.
So there wasn't nothing traumatic that happened to where now we're now in the 1900s and the 2000s doing our genealogy and having to research to go through records and records and records and records to find our ancestors because they were attempting to hide them and destroy them. So there wasn't a such thing as paper genocide when the census came out in the 1700s. So there wasn't a such thing as them deputizing people saying that, hey, you go out there and whoever look like this, tell them they black. Tell them they Negro. Tell them they colored. But don't you dare let them say they Indian. So those things didn't happen. We're just making those up. We're like drama queens, even though it's etched in history and it's proven. Okay, y'all. That sounds like what they're doing. They came to Ellis Island. They came off their boat and they joined tribes. You can join a tribe now. I'm going to show you.
Trajectory. They co-opt stories of real living native people and claim them as their own. Dr. Kim.
Isn't that what you did? Didn't you co-opt our story and then claim it as your own? You sit here saying we as if you're Indian. As if you are an indigenous person to America. As if you're an American. As if you're an American Indian. Child, maybe I don't know what copper look like.
Tallbear calls this the last frontier of colonization. Pretendians harm natives in a lot of ways. They discourage real natives from connecting or talking about our stories. So the stories that people know that they think are native stories are actually just the stories of pretendians. Because those of us that are native, but maybe are disconnected.
So our stories are fake. Those of them that are native, they got the real stories. Well, tell us the stories about the wars you fought. Tell us. Tell us about how the atrocities you committed when you came up with the 5 civilized tribes and how much genocide that came with that. Christianize or else. Talk about it. Oh, okay.
Connected or racially.
Those of us who are native, she said it with her chest, didn't she? Or with her third chin. She said it with her third chin. Damn.
Watch this. I'm going to show y'all another one. Y'all not going to believe this. Watch this. Y'all think I'm playing? Watch this. Where's she at? Listen to this lady. Now, she's claiming to be indigenous, right? Watch this. This lady that's coming up, that's going to speak, she's another Indian woman, okay? She's a Native American. She's indigenous. Watch.
We get tons of inquiries. Probably the top inquiry we get are people wanting to do DNA tests to determine what tribe they belong to. So everyone seems to want to be Indian. And even some people are emboldened enough to say, you know, hey, I did my DNA test. It says I'm Native American. Where's my Indian check?
Really?
So there's so many misconceptions about what it means to be Native American.
Hold up. You saying Indian, then it's so many misconceptions to be Native American.
Get her, Dane.
Pick one. Because you ain't neither.
Neither.
You're not even Native American. Wait a minute. Yes, she is. Wait a minute, y'all. Hold up.
She's claiming
Yes,
to
she
be it.
is.
Watch this.
Because
Watch what she
when I
is.
tell y'all about Native American, the third largest political party?
The Know Nothings.
The Know Nothings.
Mm-hmm.
What we say about that? Whole group of foreigners, right? That practice. Okay.
You have to do that genealogical research. And
What did? Hold up. Wait. Hold up. So they just technically look, and people get mad at me because I'm American, came from a white man. On their own family, you have a title slapped onto your genealogy DNA.
What y'all think? I want y'all to hear her say what she is. She about to tell you her race
in America.
and nationality.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Stood up and studied that. And look, you just started this tech. Meanwhile, people like that right here, just Shannon O'Laughlin just spitting it away.
We ain't just gonna ask her.
And what they look like. Doing business with these people, man.
Cause Joe about to ask her. I want y'all to hear her say what
And
she
that's
is.
fine. That's why my wife and I, man.
Hold on, maybe I missed it.
And y'all just looking for reparations. And we could have had this done a long time ago. Meanwhile, it was people like this. I just wanted to show y'all the difference between American Indian and Native American.
Here it is, right here.
There's a lot of...
I skipped it. Lord, watch this.
Notice that pattern. What she look like to y'all? Okay, somebody said she's Irish. Watch.
Watch this.
Is that we are often stereotyped into this this picture, and if we don't fit that, then we're not legitimate.
Mind you, she's an Indian.
When you first met me, what did you think?
She's an Indian, so she's supposed to be an Indian.
Skin.
She's supposed to be indigenous to America. You heard her say, "Where's her brown skin?" Right? Right now, this is what Noah said when he first got here. Copper color races, okay? Now, she I don't know what her copper at. Maybe she bleaches. Listen to this. Listen to it.
Greek, European, German, okay. Mediterranean, no, not Portuguese. Indians from the...
Yeah, let's talk about that. What other... so, blood quantum is an imposition from the federal government.
Blood quantum is pseudoscience. That's the one drop rule from a long time ago. So, but listen, I want y'all to hear her say what she is. That's my point of clicking on this video. Listen.
That has been used to weed out Native Americans. So the whole idea of U.S.
Not to weed out the Native Americans, but to...
I want to hear her say her race.
That land and resources could be obtained, right?
Whoa! Look, hold on. She's saying a lot.
Problem. So that land and resources could be obtained, right?
So they were saying
now you heard to say the Indian problem, right? Is really the Negro problem.
I was like, well, wait a minute. What is racist? She deflecting, right?
I'm gonna start it over for y'all. Hold on.
That's it.
Listen.
Let me make.
Grammarly doesn't just help you with policy.
After this, I'm just gonna let it play out away and let Dane talk and let her talk. But I want y'all to hear this.
When you start replying to an email.
So, okay.
Cultures aren't static.
Right.
And we're not static. And I think one of the major issues that American Indians have is that we are often stereotyped into this.
Okay, hold on. Before we go any further, look at. Just take a look. Just take a look. Look at that nose. Look, y'all. Look, notice the pattern. Notice that pattern. What she look like to y'all? Okay, somebody said she's Irish. Sonia, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, sister. Love Joe said that's a clear woman. And she definitely pale-faced. Somebody said, look like the same phenotype? Somebody said Italian, Greek, European, German, okay. Mediterranean, no, not Portuguese. Somebody said Poland.
that we are often stereotyped into this this picture, and if we don't fit that, then we're not legitimately Indian. When you first met me, what did you think? Did you think, well, where's her brown skin? Where's
Brown
the feathers?
skin?
Copper.
Wait a minute, where's her brown skin?
Where is
Notice
her
she said that.
copper?
Where's her feathers? Hold up.
Y'all know I drive for a living, so there's
Brown
a...
skin. Where's
Leave
the
it alone.
feathers? I mean, this
My
is...
arm don't get no feeling, my hand get all the fuzz.
But I guess it's a
people do.
rhetorical question. Oh, hell yes. So,
Well, are you 100% Native American?
no,
Listen.
absolutely
What
not.
percentage are you?
And that's
Is it
let's talk
racist?
about that. Let's talk
Did you
about
say
that.
What percentage are you?
What
Don't
other-
deflect, answer the question.
So, blood quantum is an imposition from the federal government.
Is it?
That has
Is
been
it now? It's
used to
imposition
weed
now.
out Native Americans. So the whole idea of U.S.
Not to weed out the Native Americans,
But to replace
to
us,
detach
us,
American Indians from the colored people. And that happened in the 1880s, 1890s. Actually, a little bit before that, slightly before
get her,
that.
Dane.
But when it really happened, that blood quantum crap came during the same time period of white supremacy, 1890s.
Y'all won't guess what
He
race she
was like,
is
well, what
while she
percentage
talking about
are
she
you?
Indian.
And he was like, well, wait a minute, is that racist? She deflecting, right? So she's explaining that since the government came up with this and it was weaving out the Native Americans.
So she admitted that she's not 100% Native American. But when he asked her, what are you? Now she said, well, let's talk about that. Now she's going on to this whole soliloquy, this whole diatribe about basically the one drop rule that she put into scientific terminology, and about how they had to weed out the problem. What it is, they had to get rid of us so that they can make their land theft legitimate. So they disenfranchised us from our land, disassociated us with it on paperwork by by the prejudice of the census, by we all know what they did, the Indian Removal Act, by all these governmental atrocities that they did. They basically paperworked us out of our race and out of our heritage to replace us with the Europeans, so they could say, hey, this is my land, this mine, this mine. That's why all those Indian chiefs that's over the casinos look like her. But let's go. But remember now, remember the title of the video is They Cannot Be Deported. I'm going through all of this to show y'all something. So, Ice out there skitzing. Listen, okay, play. Listen to, now remember this is an Indian woman now, right? All right, watch this.
Federal policy has been to assimilate
And
Indians.
she's talking about the one drop rule, by the way.
See,
For
I
those
told
of you
y'all.
that don't know, we went over this before.
To rid themselves of the Indian problem. So
Remember.
The Negro problem, for y'all, that for lack of a better term, she's talking about the Negro problem. Their problem is it was too many of us. We was fighting. Remember, they act like they came over here in the 1400s and we just bowed down, lay down. They've been fighting us since the 1400s. It's the 1900s and they still catching hell from us. So we're not African. We didn't leave our country to go find somewhere else to stay, somewhere safe to hide. We've been fighting for our land since they got here. And we fought we fought DeSoto. And there was nobody more diabolical than DeSoto. We'll go over to DeSoto because DeSoto is the person that really came over here and conquered this land, not Columbus. Columbus, dumbass, thought he had landed in Asia. To this day, the man thought he made it to Asia. Why? Because of the Siberian Mongoloid that was over here. But anyway, clock it. Now, listen to what this lady's saying. The Indian problem was really the Negro problem. It was too many of us, and it wasn't enough for them, and they wanted to legitimize ownership of our shit. Understand that. It was them Puritans, them Puritans, them Siberians, the Englishmen, them Brits. Listen, they came over here and they jumped us. The only people that really left was the French and the Portuguese, because we whooped them fairly easy because they didn't have enough money backing them. Then Queen Isabella and them had, when they came over here, Queen Isabella and Ferdinand had some money behind them. House of Castile had some money behind them when they sent DeSoto over here to do what he did. The rest of the nations, they didn't have enough money to really put a strong foothold over here like they did. But listen.
Now notice how she's saying, "Hey, cool. This is a lot in one right here." So I'm gonna talk about this. Now she said it was an Indian problem, but what was it, y'all? Was it an Indian problem, or was it a Negro problem? Hold up, hold up. Listen, look. Remember what I told you? The terminologies. So she know, but she using it to
Come
her
on, Dane.
advantage because she could get away with it. Okay.
So that land and resources could be obtained, right?
Whoa! Look, hold on. She's saying a lot.
Problem. So that land and resources could be obtained, right?
So they were saying that it was a Negro or Indian problem, Negro problem. Wait a minute, I could have.
This app pays your bills now, and you pay back later. Turn big.
Well, I guess I kind of see why creators do go ahead and go to the original source rather than the creator that they probably got the information from, since he does keep cutting it off and not. I'm trying to get her to get to this one particular point of what she is, but whatever. I respect Dane. Let him talk. Now listen.
That don't sound like a family. That sound like a club, don't it? If I got to apply, so now she's aligning the stories with her sources can be obtained. That happened to us.
Mind you, now all this talk, she still ain't told us what her race is.
And so blood quantum was one.
Remember a long time ago, he asked her what was her race.
If you didn't meet what they thought was some kind of purity test, then they could write you off, right? But that is not.
Which is what happened to us when the 5 civilized tribes took over.
Indian nations view tribal citizenship or.
Listen, this
is what she about to say, because I'm about to show y'all some. Watch this.
She slid in the.
Watch this.
Because if you really paid attention to
click
the
on
channel, you're gonna notice that she's saying a lot of things that I made sure with proof and paperwork, evidence, and document. Because if it was a family, I would be. So now she's aligning the stories with her. They're going to tell you their specific. All right. So this is all right. Let's back it up. Let's back it up, right? What time is it? Hold up. It's go time, Snow. Okay. So say bloodline.
What is she gonna say her race? So I want y'all to hear her say it.
That's been an imposition on us. So I'm Polish and Choctaw.
Whoa.
The bitch is Polish and Choctaw, but watch this. Watch this. This is what Polish people look like. Just so y'all know, I love him as an actor. And then watch this. The application fee for the Choctaw Nation, $25. You can enroll to be a Choctaw for the mere price of $25. So this is how a Polish woman can claim that she's Choctaw. Listen to this. No blood limit. There's no blood quantum requirement to be eligible to be a membership of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, as long as you have an ancestor on the Choctaw Final Dolls Commission rolls. So long as there's a $5 ending on there with your name on it, you can go ahead and pay us $25. So they really is $30, because it's $5 for the dolls rolls to be the $5 ending. Then decades later, then you pay the $25. So technically, it's $30 in all, because your ancestor paid $5, then you paid the $25. With required documents, you will need a tribal membership application and approved CDIB card to be eligible for membership. That's just saying you got somebody on the dolls rolls. $25. But let a black person, let a copper color person go down there with their $25 to be a member. They declining them left and right. But this Polish woman can go say she indigenous and become part of the Choctaw tribe. Be a member. How you a member of a tribe? But I want y'all to hear that. So I want y'all to meet one other lady. I want y'all to meet Carrie Becerra. I believe Carrie's on here too. Let me see. Where's Carrie?
Barassa leads an indigenous health research lab at the University of Saskatchewan, all while observing.
Pause. So now, this young lady is heading a indigenous research lab. That means they're taking indigenous blood and researching it. I bet they now getting that Polish blood and doing research on it. I bet they getting this blood from the abortion clinics, from donations, from donating your insulin. I bet they getting this blood and researching it. I bet they're not researching their own blood. But let's go.
And hold on. Notice how these people be having some nice little titles and nice position that they some type of way get themselves involved with. Your talent.
And I want y'all to pay attention to this lady. Now, y'all can Google on y'all own too. Her name is Carrie Barasara. Yeah, because that sounds like an Indian name. But anyway, listen to her. Listen to her story.
Or disrupted family, and that was due to intergenerational trauma, and that caused addictions and violence.
Bet y'all won't guess what race she is.
And it's this very compelling story that we all bought into.
Carolyn Tate is also.
Mind you, Carolyn Tate also works there. Carolyn Tate is also claiming to be indigenous. So I think that maybe Carrie got a little ahead of herself and probably got a promotion that maybe Miss Tate wanted. So she decided to out her. Watch this.
More than a decade and always believed she was indigenous, but she says recently some inconsistencies and changes in Barassa's story led her and her colleagues to investigate Barassa's genealogy, and they concluded Barassa was not indigenous at all. All her ancestors came from Europe.
We're all...
Stop. Stop.
So she's European. So all her ancestors came from Europe. So this is a European woman. I bet y'all won't guess what part of Europe.
Hey, sister.
Watch this.
I appreciate that. Sharon, thank you for becoming.
Watch where she come from. Can y'all think about it by looking at them? Look at them strong jaws. I'm just saying. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said them strong jaws. But look at her. And I think it's indigenous crime.
The woman says she's worked with Barassa for more than a decade and always believed she was indigenous, but she says recently some inconsistencies and changes in Barassa's story led her and her colleagues to investigate Barassa's genealogy, and they concluded Barassa was not indigenous at all, finding all her ancestors came from Europe. All her ancestors came from Europe. Listen, this is going on a ton.
And I bet if we made all the indigenous tribes do their genealogy, and this is no blood test, no saliva test, just the genealogy to where your parents and your people come from, we will find that a lot of them are European. A lot of them. I just showed you the one lady that was Polish, that was sitting over there with Joe Rogan, talking about she's Polish, and then gonna start smiling and laughing. But then talking about we had an Indian problem.
Come on.
Listen. And they're about to tell you where her people come from. And y'all will be surprised.
And you know what they call? They keep forcing Africa on us.
You know, and that's a good point, Mr. Calloway. They keep forcing Africa on us while they got Europeans coming over here saying they're indigenous to this land. But they trying to get us to say we're from somewhere else when we're not. And then it's a problem when we say that we're not. It's an issue. Well, I wonder why is that? When you got a Polish person over here, you got Hispanic people on, you got all these different nationalities and different races of people claiming to be indigenous to America. But when we say we're indigenous and we're not Africa, all of a sudden everybody mad. Everybody mad. When they could just go ahead and pay this application fee and become a part of an indigenous tribe and get the benefits that they young lady said that we trying to get when we just trying to tell the truth about our heritage and be who we supposed to be.
I wonder why. Let me keep going.
We're all having a hard time getting our head around the fact that she's not Métis. It's embarrassing to think that we were so gullible and naive.
In a 2018 talk in Sudbury, Ontario, Bourassa claimed that her great-grandmother came from a small indigenous tribe in BC and the Yukon.
My great-grandmother was Tlingit. She married an immigrant. They moved from the far northern BC into Saskatchewan, and they had a family.
But CBC News discovered the genealogical records tell a different story. Bourassa's great-grandmother was Johanna Salaba, who immigrated from Russia to Canada in 1911 with her.
Stop.
This lady is Russian. This lady is Russian, talking about she Choctaw. I mean, talking about she, no, wait a minute. The Polish lady was Choctaw. I forgot which tribe this lady say she was. This lady is Russian. Do you hear me? Look at her great-grandma. And I'm assuming that's her mother or her auntie. This lady came over here with her husband and some kids already. Do you hear me? This lady is a Russian. And you got Russians, you got Polish people, you got all these people in these indigenous tribes, but they supposed to be indigenous. And all you got to do is just pay a fee. Pay a fee. Look, pay a fee. Just pay a fee, and you can say you are a member of this tribe. And you can live over here tax-free and get all the benefits that the indigenous people are supposed to get. $25. $25. Come on, man. Stop it. But we wrong. We wrong. Like, say it ain't so. How is it possible that Carrie can say she's indigenous, get a job researching indigenous people and their health, by the way, and their anatomy sounds about colonial, and this woman is a Russian? I wonder if that's what Russia been having over America head this whole time, and why America always trying to give Russia money, because they know y'all got Russians hiding in y'all indigenous tribes. Y'all got Russians and Polish people over there pretending to be Indians and pretending to be indigenous. I wonder if that's why we so quick to go aid other countries when they have a conflict or with their issues, because those other countries know who we are, and they can easily just threaten to tell us and say, well, you don't want to send us $1 trillion. We're going to come around there and tell them blacks over there that they the real indigenous people and y'all stole their identity. And matter of fact, all we got to do is just go to the Mormon church. They get all y'all records anyway, and we could prove it. And I wonder if that's what the Mormons have on America, and why the Mormons get to live in such isolation. And all of them got all this money. And they get to live tax-free and free education and get to marry cousins and brothers and sisters and stuff. I'm just saying. I wonder that's why the Mormons get to have their way and get to do whatever they want to do, because they got the records. They got the documents. They know what it is. And as apparently so do the Russians. I doubt she the only Russian that's in an indigenous tribe, and I doubt that other lady is the only Polish person in an indigenous tribe.
Man.
Come on now.
Man. And look, and this ain't it. I'm just getting started. I don't care. I know it's late.
We know it's late too, dang. I watched this back when it first came out. I'm glad I was able to find it. But anyway, this woman is Russian. I want y'all to listen to the rest of this little bit of story about her. Then I'm going to go to another lady who pretended to be Indian, and another one with European genealogy. So I'm like, when they say that they cannot be deported, you can get sent back to Russia, ma'am, just for lying. That Polish lady, she can get sent to Poland. But this is all because, look, stay with me. Because I'm going to show you who ICE got on detention. Who ICE got in them detention centers. Yeah. ICE got them long locked. You hear me? They don't care about no tribal card. Who are you, Pablo? Come on.
Let them go to bed. I love y'all. So I kissed them and hugged them for me, but the kid
was also a Czech-speaking Russian.
Wow.
Hold on, listen.
Into Saskatchewan.
Blah, 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 blah.
CBC News discovered the genealogical records tell a different story. Barassa's great-grandmother was Johanna Salaba, who immigrated from Russia to Canada in 1911 with her mother and sister. She married Joseph CynthiaG, who was also a Czech-speaking Russian.
Okay, so she came here because, I don't care what country, what part of European, what kind of European you are, most of them believe in dating each other. Like we believe in dating each other. Well, we used to before, I don't know why most of our brothers and lost their mind. I feel like maybe they conditioned in some sort of way. But anyway, so it's not unusual for her to come up here and find another Czech man to marry, another Slavic Russian man to marry, simply because, remember, give us your sick, give us your poor, give us your tired, give us your weary. Y'all remember when they did the Gettysburg Address and basically asked every nation in Europe to send your damn degenerates over here because we need to outnumber these people? Remember the Polish Indian, the Polish Choctaw lady was just telling us that they had an Indian problem, aka a Negro problem over here in America, huh? So this is why they put up that lighthouse and said, send everybody over here to Lady Liberty. We're going to process them through New York, get them on over there, and let them try to take the place of some of these Indians. But she Russian.
Winona Wheeler, a member of Manitoba's Fisher River Cree Nation, who also is a professor at the U of S, finds Barassa's claims infuriating.
I see how this university that's supposed to be employing nothing but indigenous women and studying indigenous health, it's funny how they're all European. What's your genealogy? So I don't know what Carrie Barassa did that made Miss Tate mad, but she outed her. But if I was Barassa, I would have came and outed everybody and said ain't none of them Indian up in that camp. She better than me, but come on.
It is colonialism in its worst form, and it's a gross form of white privilege. But you can just take somebody else.
It is a gross form of white privilege that you could.
So it's not a gross form of white privilege that you doing the same thing that Carrie Barassa was doing? All of y'all are European. All of y'all are European. So y'all making it a big deal for Carrie Barassa and trying to make her down the cross, but none of y'all other ones are admitting that y'all not Indian. Y'all not admitting that y'all not indigenous. Like, y'all not admitting that. Y'all might be native, meaning y'all might have been born in America, because a native is born here. A native is from somewhere else that is born in America. An indigenous person is naturally occurring to that land. As long as we understand the difference between the two. Okay? So watch this. I told y'all about the Polish Indian. Now I want to show y'all something else. Now we get it. Now I done set the foundation for all these foreigners saying they Indian, right? Watch what ICE got going on. Watch what ICE got going on. Hold on. This the Choctaw Nation chief, right? The nation that Polish lady just said, I'm Polish and Choctaw. He Polish too, don't he? All right. Watch what's going on with ICE.
All the problems in the world when foundational black Americans simply say we're the indigenous people. They want to get mad, have all these type of tethered TikTok meltdowns, but they ain't got no problem with that.
But the reason why they have so many problems because y'all keep saying black. Stop saying black. Do your genealogy and claim your tribe, because anybody can say they black. You could. This man over here talking about he Choctaw, and we already know there's no way. Where's his copper? But we have to stop saying black. Do your genealogy and figure out, and find out your actual tribe and then say that's what you are. That's who your people is. Because otherwise, an African come up here from Africa and say they black. Those Brits, you got to watch out for those Brits talking about, we got British people in America, and they trying to tie themselves to our lean, saying, I got a cousin in America, or I got family in America. My people from America too, but I'm just in Britain now. You got to watch out for that, because there's a big talk about reparations, and all these black people are going to come try to get it. So stop saying you black and say what your tribe is. And when reparations come into play, it needs to be for those tribes, not for anybody that have the quote-unquote complexion of a black person. You know what I mean? So watch them British cousins where everybody's saying, oh, it's black Russians, it's black Brits, it's black people in Ireland and all that there. Stop saying black. If quote-unquote black people was indigenous to this entire world, because the quote-unquote white person is only 6,000 years old. That means they cannot be indigenous to anywhere. That means at one point the whole world was quote unquote black. So that doesn't mean you're from America though. You're not American. You're Deutsch. You're British. You're African. You're whatever nation that you're indigenous to. Stop trying to tie yourself to American. That's why Americans need to get away from this word black. Black, nigger, negro, all that stuff was an insult back in our grandparents' days. So why are we taking all these racial insults and then taking the meaning and saying, "Oh, we changing the meaning"? No. Once an insult, always an insult. Like, stop it.
You've been allowing Mayo
Look at this.
to talk to you recklessly.
That Choctaw Chief. Y'all playing with me, right? No, y'all playing. But watch this. Hold on.
Chip under the 14th.
Freeze. This is what we were talking about.
Hold on.
Freely. Ceremonies, harvests, family visits, they were all protected.
Hold on.
Watching the erasure.
Watch
the
this.
erasure is the chief of your tribe. FBA, we have reclaimed our indigenous status, and that's got everybody shook. FBA, we're making it be known that.
Guess who on the portion list now?
Watch this.
Yeah, they on y'all head. So, recently, and I'm talking about recently, in this month, detained Native Americans.
Ice, baby.
On their own homeland. How can you be illegal on land your ancestors never left? On the U.S.-Mexico border, the Tohono O'odham Nation has lived since long before there was a United States. Their land stretches across Arizona and into Mexico, but armed agents stop them at checkpoints and even detain them. Here's the thing. Treaties guaranteed their right to cross freely. Ceremonies, harvests, family visits, they were all protected. Yet ICE ignores tribal IDs, rejects birth certificates, and erases sovereignty at the border. Imagine elders pulled aside, medicines confiscated, prayers interrupted. To Washington, it's security. To Native Americans, it's a message. Your land isn't yours, your rights aren't real. If Native Americans can be detained on their own land, what does sovereignty even mean? Comment if...
You need to stop and listen to what is happening in the U.S. right now as a result of Donald Trump's executive orders. There are ICE raids that are targeting Native Americans. Native Americans. They are currently being detained and questioned.
Again, I told you, Native American is just somebody that was born in America.
This is not going to stop. The racism in this country has been unleashed at an unprecedented level, and many people are going to pay the price.
See? And I just showed y'all how all these other races of Europeans and stuff are in these nations. Remember, she said all you gotta do is pay a fee to be a member. $25 to be a member of the Choctaw Nation. Let's see how much it costs to be a member of the Harmonium Nation. Hold on. Application fee. Let me see. Application fee. Deposit, escrow, water, education assistance, private membership. To find the exact fee, you would need to specify what you're applying for. The deposit amount is $400. So if you become a member of these tribes, all you have to do is have some bread. So you wonder why they're not worried about your tribal card. They're not worried about your birth. They're not worried about none of them documents you got. Because I tell you, I seen a girl over there on New York, over there on Homestead, who had a whole book of fake Social Security cards, a.k.a. CPN numbers, and she was selling them out the back of that Washington area. And y'all think that them illegal immigrants get jobs and pay taxes. No, ma'am. They get all that stuff with a CPN, send all their money back home, and by the time they realize they avoided paying their taxes, they get another CPN. That's why they always have a common name, first name, and a common last name. But when you go to Mexico, they have very different names. But over here, I was Hector, Juan, Jesus, Jose, Jaime, something like that. And then you wonder why they holding up the indigenous people over there on the border, over there in Mexico over there. Yeah, you wonder why, huh? Because all you gotta do is pay a fee. Just imagine if I'm a killer or something like that. And remember, the reason why you can apply to be members is because they so racist in their thinking, and they still not allowing us to claim our indigenous heritage. They still blocking us out, but they still need the numbers. This is how come when you go back in my video and you see that Polish lady talking about she Choctaw, or you see this Russian lady talking about she's indigenous, you talking about, and you got this Saskatchewan school that's for Indians being taught by indigenous women when there's not one indigenous woman in sight. This is why. Because they need to replenish their numbers to keep the facade going, to keep the lie going. Come on now. You saw that man like he from California, that white man like he from Europe, and he been living in California his whole life, telling me he the Choctaw chief. Are you serious? And y'all seen my other video when I went over all them Indian chiefs, when you had the one dressed up like Bob Marley for Halloween and had on blackface. Y'all saw. I done been talking about these Indian chiefs for the longest. And you wonder why. Come on, listen.
Tribal ID or U.S. ID on you. Apparently, several Native Americans have been detained for multiple hours without their cell phones or a way for them to contact their families or their tribes.
But you know who can't be deported and held up by ICE? Me. Number one, I'm talking my history verbally. I can name you my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents' parents. And I knew my great-grandparents. My daughter knew her great-grandparents. My mama knew her great-grandparents. I know their names, their birthdays, and where they buried it. By heart. Because, I was homeschooled. What else they going to teach us? Read, write, family. And it's all verifiable. Who is your people? They don't know. Because eventually, they're going to get to Europe. Oh, so you over here lying. Instead of coming over here to be a U.S. citizen, you came over here and lied, said you was Indian. Applied to this to be an illegal Indian through this application fee, and you've been hired out on the reservation. They can hire rapists, murderers, cartel members, all kind of stuff in their tribe. Illegal, and they got these. That's probably how remember they said a lot of illegal immigrants was coming through Arizona. Maybe that's how, through the Tohono tribe. Go through there, do your application fee, make it come through Mexico, come through Arizona, and get lost in the sauce. Isn't that where that wall was broke at? I'm just saying, isn't that where that big old hole in the wall is? What Trump was trying to do, that Kamala and them didn't fix when it broke? Or they probably broke in Arizona, conveniently on this tribe's territory? And like Trump said, I don't know about you, but they don't look Indian to me. Come on. I know who can't be deported. Not to brag, I'm just saying.
Now, the tribe that's been most impacted by this is the Navajo Nation, and apparently this has sparked a lot of fear, especially among tribal members who live in urban areas and might struggle with getting them the proper documentation.
You mean the people, the people that lied and said they was indigenous and they don't live nowhere near no reservation. Let's look at the Navajo. Let's see what the Navajo looking like. And let's see what their application fee is. Let's see. I don't know how to spell Navajo. There you go. No. There you go. J-O, okay. Oh, J-O, like Hispanic spelling? Okay. Navajo Nation application fee for membership. How do you become a member of the Navajo Nation? Like, there's no way you should be able to become a member. You're supposed to be born in it. It's supposed to be in you, not on you. But you telling me you could become a member? Not you can literally become a member? Come on, man. You need to prove a Navajo blood by providing documentation of biological parents who are already enrolled as members. The new enrollment request should be sent to the Navajo official records for identification. Where is the fee? Let's see. Here we go. Blood quantum. 25% Navajo blood. Documentation needed to prove The Navajo blood can include your birth certificate, relatives, Navajo enrollment, CIBD numbers, certificate of degree of Indian blood. Your lineage, you must prove your direct descendant, parent or ancestor who was enrolled member Navajo. So if they could trace you back to the illegal dolls rolls, you good. That's what it sounds like to me. You can enroll. You cannot be enrolled with another U.S. tribe at the same time you're enrolling in a Navajo nation. What the fuck? How can you be a member of another tribe trying to be a member of Navajo? If you're already in a tribe, you're in a tribe. It's supposed to be in you, not on you. Child. And you wonder why they're getting held up by ICE. They're foreigners. Pretend to be indigenous.
Now, several of these Native Americans did provide documentation of either a state ID or something called a CID, which is a certificate of Indian blood. But apparently ICE is not recognizing these documents.
No, because you can fake all of that. They know you can.
You know why ICE is not recognizing it?
It's just bullshit.
Because these individuals are Mexicans. That's why. And we know exactly the reason. So it's about to get real, real bad for a lot of these tontos out there. Yep, 7/21/2025 is when they were talking about it, and it's ramping up.
Native Americans, people who were here long before us.
They weren't here before me.
More than
they weren't here before me.
Any of us are being detained and questioned about being.
He mean American Indians, because remember, in order to be Native, you just have to be born here. You just have to be born. You have to be born. Indigenous, you are naturally reoccurring. Naturally occurring. It's a difference. Anybody's a Native American, he's a Native American. Those Africans are Native Americans. Anybody who's not indigenous to this land is a Native American. What y'all not understanding? Because an indigenous person cannot be deported.
Deported, and they're not accepting tribal proof, ID, whatever, as valid. Look, I'm just going to call this right now. Again, like I said in an earlier video, the criminals, the predators, all of those people, get them the heck out of here. In fact, take American ones with you. Get them out of here too. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming from this when it comes to American citizens and Native Americans.
No, it's not. You know why it's not going to be a lot of lawsuits? Because ICE know y'all not. ICE know that y'all not indigenous. ICE know that documents are fake. They know all that shit is fake because they know who the real Indians are. So sue me for what? How can you? When I can prove you're European and you lying about being an Indian. That's fraudulent right there. Deport
Americans.
Yeah, you know what Donald Trump said? He said, see you in court. Yeah, that's what's going on. Fam, I'm telling y'all, tether get.
Look, it's going down. They getting the hell up out of here. They getting the hell up out of here. And I want to show you something. Y'all want to know why that they not accepting those, another reason why they're not accepting those tribal cards and stuff anymore? I'm going to show you what they did about 10 years ago. Let me show you what they did in the CID, Certificate of Indian Blood. Certificate CDIB. Let me tell you what they did at the CDIB. Hold on. Let me show you what they did. Oh, look, it's right here already. Oh, I must have let this play while I was, when did he start? Let's start here. Listen to what they did for them Indians a second ago. Watch this. Watch this.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, I thought that was a typo.
Hold on.
Man, you may have your commercial.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete
driver's license. You may have your passport.
Now, mind you, this is something they had been did. Hold on.
Man, stop. Hold on. Wait. Oh, man. But look.
All right, Liz, watch this. Now, remember, this happened a while ago. This happened a while ago. This is why they think all them documents are fake now.
Let me show y'all
Watch
exhibit.
this.
I don't know which one we on now.
Listen carefully to what the news people about to say, and to what they did.
Hey. No, not that one. Y'all not.
Hold on. Is this the right one? Yeah. Hold on. It say the time. My stamp said supposed to go to 47. But like it was before 47, right? All right, look, listen. After years of effort,
for elderly Native Americans to obtain delayed birth certificates. Senate Bill 1393 was signed into law by Governor Doug Ducey yesterday, streamlining a process that until today required 7 separate proofs of identity and a trip to Phoenix.
So you mean to tell me they streamlined their ability to get birth certificates? I'm sorry, you don't get them when you're born? These are elderly people. Y'all didn't get a birth certificate when I was born? Why not? Why not? So this is why when ICE is pulling them over now, all that stuff is null and void to them. Because what? We streamlined y'all ability to get it. We committed fraud for y'all to get them.
Governor Doug Ducey yesterday,
Listen.
streamlining a process that until today required 7 separate proofs of identity and a trip to Phoenix.
Hold up, before we go any further.
So they had to go to Phoenix and provide. Who got 7 forms of ID? Maybe they do, because they got their blood card that say they indigenous. Then they got their tribal card. Then they got their. Well, they don't have no ID because maybe a passport. No, they don't got no driver license. What do they have if they didn't have a birth certificate? They just came over here and started hiding out on a reservation on somebody else's land eons ago and stayed there. And now they need birth certificates because their kids don't live on a reservation no more and they trying to go visit them or whatever the case may be. But how do you streamline somebody getting a birth certificate? Like, how do you streamline that to what? That they don't need as many documents now? And this is why they being held up by ICE. This is why. Because we know what we did was fraud. Trump know all the fraud stuff the government did. He the president now. How come you think he's able to do so much? How come you think he's able to say, I know DEI wasn't shit. I know affirmative action wasn't nothing. I know the civil rights movement didn't help nobody but us. I know these things because I'm the president. I'm looking at the documentation. I'm reading. He reading what we reading. We know it wasn't nothing, so he know it wasn't nothing. Just like he know unequivocally that we replaced the real copper-colored indigenous people of this land with our own European brothers and sisters because we want to make this land grab legit.
It is now much easier for elderly Native Americans to obtain delayed birth certificates. Senate Bill
Elderly Native Americans to obtain delayed birth certificates. Legislation signed into law.
That's real delayed.
By Governor Doug Ducey yesterday, streamlining a process that until today required 7 separate proofs of identity and a trip to Phoenix.
They had to go to Phoenix and they had to provide 7 separate proofs of identity. I mean, if you are, if you Nietzsche right now, y'all, I'm talking about indigenous. Wait a minute, drop. But I'm talking about, okay, I'll pull it up. I'm not in front of that.
Watch this.
Utility shows proof of.
I want them to finish telling you what all they did.
Take my word for it. I'm glad we're having this conversation. They said the older people's leaving them without proof.
Listen. This the part right here, I think. I think this the part.
They didn't even have birth certificates as proof of identity.
So how we know you was born here?
That's correct.
How we know you was born here?
Phoenix. Many older Native Americans, especially those born at home in the rural areas, did not have these required forms of documentation, leaving them without proof of U.S. citizenship.
Leaving them without proof of U.S. citizenship, y'all.
You heard that part? That's the part I wanted y'all to hear. Deport. 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 Because indigenous can't be deported, right? Hell, I was born at home. I got a damn birth certificate. What the fuck? So was my brother. Like, what? Child, stop playing. So was my mama. She got a birth certificate. Are you serious? Oh, unless they was illegal immigrants over there hiding them tribes, having babies. Huh? Yeah. You illegal. You over there having babies in them tribes. And then what? Yeah, you don't get no birth certificate then. You've been hiding out in that reservation for 30, 40 years. And now they got to streamline your ability to get a birth certificate. With no proof that you was actually born here. And you wonder why ICE holding them up. Okay. And that's why ICE got them Indians at them so-called Indians, American Indians, at the border now. That's why. I just want to show y'all what's really going on out here. You think it's just Mexicans. Nah, it's everybody. Everybody who's anybody who's not American. Look, and I don't mind sharing my home. I don't. Number one, don't disrespect me and tell me I'm not American and tell me I'm African, because that's a slap in my face. And number two, it's so much corruption going on right now. We need to clean up. So right now, you got to go home. Go home for now. Let us get it together. Let us continue to hone our crafts. Let us get jobs. Because I done told y'all in that video that I was almost crying on how hard it is to be a working class citizen. With all these foreigners that only hire other foreigners. Then they tell you have to speak a foreign language on American soil to even get the job. It's hard out there, man. I told y'all that I'm in the oil and gas industry and all I see is the Spanish speaking ones. And they only hire each other. Break room full of them. You the only nigga at work. You understand me? It's about 30 of y'all. And there's thousands of employees. Like, we tired of that. We tired of that. You can't come over here and then be prejudiced against the Americans. You can't come over here and be racist against us and say we lazy niggas and we need to work harder. When you are giving our tax dollars and upgrade. If it wasn't for our banking money, y'all wouldn't have no taco trucks. Do y'all know how banking works? We deposit our money, they take all that money and give it out as loans. That's literally how it works. Why you think a lot of rich people, when they try to go to the bank and get $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in cash, they can't get it because it's not there. It's been loaned out already. So I can't even get a loan from a bank I bank at. I can't even borrow my own money from you. But you can lend my money to some foreigners so they can live the American dream, manifest destiny. When I'm an American, indigenous American, and I can't live the American dream, the fuck, go home. Bye. Ice, baby. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Then when I throw it in my face, oh, I've been in America for 20 years, and now I got my own company, and I got this, and I got that. Man, how you think you got it? You got it on my back. On my back. Go home, Roger. Get rid of the cartel and make Mexico great again.
Listen.
We've been over here.
Wait a minute.
Pause.
Because Native Americans.
Hold on. Let me say it first.
Are classified as U.S. citizens. But if they didn't have the proof.
Now, how did they classify them as citizens?
Hold up.
That's what did I just say that?
They have the proof that they were.
They didn't have. They just not getting birth certificates.
They become Native Americans.
And the census happened in 1700. Immigrants. Deport them. Go over on Ellis Island and tell us what's going on with us. What's going on with us? Again, y'all fleeing y'all land scared of the cartel coming over here. Go fight. Get your weight up. Go fight and make it great again. Y'all, instead of Africans fighting for their home, what they doing? Coming over here, huh? Right? Right? Hold on, y'all. Got a little technical difficulty. I think I'm frozen. Okay. There we go. Y'all running from y'all revolutions when we done fought ours time and time again. We been giving them hell around here. Been since they got here. We been getting them run for their money. Come on now. And then you got foreigners in charge of foreigners. Of course there's gonna be fraud involved. Stamp them up, stamp them up, stamp them up, stamp. Of course there's gonna be fraud involved. Indigenous tribe, child. How the census even counted them back in the 1700s to say they was on the census to say they was citizens and they was and Native Americans or indigenous to this land. How did all this work when they didn't have to prove their birth? They in their 60s and 70s getting birth certificates? Are you serious? Just hand it to them? And y'all wonder why ICE holding them up at the border. Stop playing. Who is that? They're like my neighbor great uncle. Yeah, it's a whole lot of copper. It's a whole lot of copper. It's a whole lot of copper over there getting their birth certificates saying they're a member of an indigenous tribe. But I forgot, all you got to do is just pay your $25 fee and you too can be a member of any nation of your choosing. Right? Like, stop it. Let me see what's going on. It's like it's... Yeah, they like... I just don't get it. I don't get the racism. I don't get the anger. I understand that you the